This is a blank Google Sheets. Along the top of the spreadsheet are the letters A, B, C, and so on. Each one of these is a column. Down on the left side, we have rows, and each one is numbered. If we were to click on some random cell, in the upper left corner, we see the cell's name, which is given the column followed by the row. We are able to resize columns by moving the cursor in between, and you can click and drag, and that will change the column's width. You can also click and drag to select arrange. And when I right click, I can choose resize columns, A through H. Those are the columns that are selected. And I can choose to put in some width in pixels. The default is 100. Let's just have it be half as big. And so these cells are going to be 50 pixels wide now. If you don't want some columns, you can select them, right click, and delete them. If you ever run out of columns, you can add more. Either right click and choose to insert one to the right or left. If we want more than one, we can select more columns, and then we can insert that number of selected columns to the right or to the left. If I keep inserting more columns, when I scroll to the right, we're going to see we reached column 26, the end of the alphabet, and then we start in on column AA, and then AB, and then AC. And so columns can continually be added, and you're not going to have an issue of not having enough columns. We can also resize rows, either right-clicking to change that row's height, or, of course, as with the columns, you can click and drag, and that will also change a row's height. If we scroll down, we see that there are a whole lot of rows. We have 1,000 rows in a default newly created Google Sheet, and it's easily providing us the opportunity to add more rows. We could add another sheet, so if this sheet is filled or we're having a different focus, we can add a sheet, and so we get a whole new sheet. When we click on the options, we could delete a sheet, duplicate the sheet, copy it to a new or existing spreadsheet. We can rename it. We can change the color of the sheet's tab. And so now we have this green underline so that we can easily identify the differences if there are multiple sheets. We can also protect the sheet so that it won't accidentally be edited. We can hide it, and we can rearrange its location. If I have multiple sheets, I can quickly drag and drop, and then the sheets are in a different order. As in other Google applications, we have the name of an untitled spreadsheet, which we can easily rename. And we have our menu options and the sub-menu options based upon what you would probably want to do, may want to do in a cell. So let's type in the date. If I've typed in a date and I have the cell selected, we have the bottom right blue box. And if I click and drag it, we're going to actually be using, it's called the fill handle. And so Sheets is going to anticipate and try and figure out what you're trying to fill in the next cells with. So if I let go, Google Sheets is thinking, well, if I've put in a date, I may want subsequent dates to be listed after. and so it's going to automatically fill in the cells that I had selected and use the fill handle to drag down to the next dates. I can also, when I move to the edge of the selected range, I can click and drag it to move that data to different cells. If I don't like something, I can click and I can delete it. Could either delete the entire row, I could delete the column that I'm on, or I can just delete the cell, and I can either shift the other cells left or up. I'm just going to hit backspace on my keyboard, so just that cell's data goes away.